Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to share with you my 8 least used handbags for 2023. Now, I recently put out a video on the handbags that I have never used, never even once, and the luxury items that I have never ever worn. So I'm not going to include the handbags in this video that I've never worn, never gotten around to, because I don't want to put myself through that twice. And if you watch that video, you've already seen all of the handbags that I've never actually used yet. These are the handbags that, apart from the ones that I never use, are the least used for 2023. They've maybe only been used once, or maybe not used this year but have been used. This is painful. Doing that video and doing this video at these prices is painful. So we're going to get on with it quickly because I'm trying not to dwell. And number one, and I know this bag is a firm favourite of so many of you on this channel. This is the Louis Vuitton Artie Capucines in the BB size, and she's a piece of art. Now, some people can't stand her, but I think she's a piece of art. I think she's beautiful. I love these velvet patches on her. I love the multicoloured Louis Vuitton. I love the etching on this. This is one of the collaborations that Louis Vuitton do on a yearly basis with artists. The artists are given a brief to basically prepare an Artie Capucines bag which is in line with their work. This year, 2023, was the first year they did a mini Capucines in the Artie Capucines version. Before, it was only the BB and the bigger sizes. This is my version, and I don't think, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, I don't think I've used this bag this year. I think the last time I used this bag was when I was in London with Louis Vuitton in December 2022. And I used this bag that whole weekend, but I don't think I've used it this year. And that's a bit of a disgrace. And that's why doing these videos is, it's a bit of a torture, but anyway. And she's beautiful. There's no reason other than, I suppose I have quite a lot of bags to choose from, probably too many if we're being honest. And this is a bigger bag that I hand carry that is more elegant or a different look when I use her than some of my throw-on you crossbody Chanel minis, for example, and that's why this one is one of my least used of 2023. Number 2, probably no surprise if you've watched a few of my recent videos, and it is the Dior saddlebag in the bright yellow. I think I've used this bag once for about half an hour since I got this bag, and that's a bit of a disgrace. I am actively considering what I'm going to do with some of my collection and the bags that I'm not using, because I do think part of the reason some of them are getting such little use is because I probably have too many to be actively rotating them and using them all. So I am thinking about this one because as much as I love the colour, and I've talked about this at length, I do find it hard to style. I know that I've tried to, I still am finding it hard to use. I'm still not reaching for it, and I think this is a bag I need to make a decision on. It is the Dior saddlebag in the regular size. As I say, used for about half an hour since I bought it. It's beautiful. The colour is absolutely stunning. It's in perfect condition. There's no reason other than I just don't reach for it, and I think it's because of the colour, and she's number 2 on the least used. Number 3, and this one's a bit of a disgrace because I love this bag, and it is the Chanel Mini in the black and white tweed. This is the houndstooth tweed. It does have the Chanel ribbon running through it. Now, this is one of these bags, again, this year, I don't think I've used it all. That's painful, and I don't use this bag enough. I absolutely accept that, and I own that I don't use this bag enough. But I love this bag so much, I don't see me getting rid of this bag, even though it's not being used that much, and even though I generally am lifting other bags, maybe more colourful bags. But she's so beautiful, and with that Chanel ribbon and being so unusual and the black and white being so quintessentially Chanel, I can't see me getting rid of her, because when I do use her or when I do look to use this bag, I love this bag, so I can't see her going anywhere. But I don't actually think I've used this bag at all in 2023. Number 4, and I am fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for not using this bag and not using this bag more. And it is, I know, it is the Louis Vuitton Mini Capucines in this fuchsia colour. This bag has quite a following of admirers on this channel, and I'm one of them. I love this bag. I love the colour. I love the green malachite inlay, and I adore the look of this bag. Again, another bag, and I'm sorry, but I can't see me selling this bag or letting this bag go, even though she's not really getting used at the moment. And I think it's because when you look around this room, and I've owned up to this before, I have so many pink bags and so many bags that fill the same void in a wardrobe or fill the same need whenever you're dressing for certain events. And because of my lifestyle, I work full time. I have 2 young children. I'm not getting dressed up or going to certain events or even going out with my friends as often as I would like to be, because life gets in the way, and life gets to the point where you need the Neverfull with everything in it, and you need, anyway, you don't need one of these. And that's why this hasn't got that much use. I'm trying to remember if I've used this bag in 2023. And the fact that I can't remember if I have is not a great sign. It's not a great start. I don't know if I have, if I'm honest. I still love her. I'm not selling her, but she's one of my least used this year, despite the fact that she's so beautiful. But I can't actually remember using her this year. Number 5, and this bag used to be on my most used bag list all the time, and it's the Louis Vuitton multi-pochette accessoire. The reason that this was on my most used list all the time is because I do have 2 young children. My youngest before this year was still in nappies, and this bag is very light. It's very easy to carry. It can sit across you crossbody, very, very flat to your body. And then when I was carrying his bag with all of his stuff as well, I could carry this too. I haven't really needed that since he's out of nappies and his needs have changed a little bit, and this is not one of my favourite bags. This is not one of the bags that I look at the most and think, oh, I love that, I really want to use it. I don't, and I admit that and I accept that. It was more that this bag was very, very practical and very, very easy to use. And as I don't have the same needs for that as much, this has really, really fallen down the list of bags that I use. I might have used this a bit towards the start of the year when we were still coming out of that phase. I certainly haven't used this bag in months and months and months. And this used to be my grab and go. It used to be the bag that if I was going somewhere, or I was going to the grocery store, or I was going shopping with my children or with my husband, I would have grabbed this because it was so light. I think I did actually use it to IKEA not that long ago, but definitely nowhere near as much as it used to get used. And just because it's not one of my favourites, to be honest, it's practical, but I don't love it. And that's sometimes for me, bags aren't really about practicality. Hello. Look around a lot of the examples. I haven't bought many of those because they're practical. A lot of them are pains in the neck and they're hard to use and they're fussy and they're fabric and they're sequenced and they're not easy. So practicality is not one of the things that drives my buying process. It should be. And if you're starting a luxury collection, practicality should come into it a little bit more than it does for me. But for me, it's definitely not. And that's why this is not getting anywhere near the same amount of use as it used to. Number 6 is the Louis Vuitton twist in the Vernet in the black and white monogram on this twist lock. This was a limited edition and it has the black and white on this. I have a real sentimental attachment to this bag, but I don't really use it anymore. When I first got this bag, I used this bag a lot. I had a much smaller collection. I had many less pink bags and a lot less bags to choose from, and this one got a lot of use. I loved this bag. I felt like I was preening like a peacock when I used this bag, but over the last number of years this has got a lot less use. I haven't used this bag this year. I know I haven't, and I don't know if I used it last year, which is telling, but I'm very sentimentally attached to it and I would struggle to let it go. Maybe I know Meredith likes this bag because it would fit in her collection, but it's the sentimentality that makes me struggle with this bag. It's not the use. I think she's very, very pretty. She is a beautiful version of the twist, and I know the twist is coming back and strong and Louis Vuitton are marketing it strong, but again, I haven't used this bag this year, but she's still here. Number 7, and over to Chanel, and this may surprise some of you, and it is the Chanel Unicorn Mermaid Iridescent metallic bag that was part of the Matriarch collection a couple of years ago. I love this bag. I love the mix of colours in this bag. I love the gold hardware on it. I think it's a beautiful bag. The reason this bag has not, I don't think this bag's been used this year, maybe once or twice, but very little. The reason being there are a few bags that compete for when this bag would be worn. There's the Chanel sequenced up here. There is the blue, and over here the blue and coral type tweed. There is also, there's another bag that, oh yes, the raffia one which has come in. So whenever I would go to wear this one, there are others as well. And this year it goes in cycles. Last year I wore this bag a lot during the summer. This was the one that I gravitated towards. This was the one that I wore most. This year I've kind of went for this blue and coral tweed. Part of the reason being I wasn't sure if I was going to keep that, and I wanted to see how I felt using it. So I've went for this one a lot more this year, and this therefore hasn't really been worn compared to last year. I don't know if I've used it at all this year. I know I used it a lot last year, but it is a beautiful, beautiful bag. I do love it. I love the colours on it. I just, this year, didn't really reach for her. And number 8, and another one I think a lot of you might not be happy with me about, and it is the small Lady Dior in the pink with the pink iridescent hardware. Now, it's not that this bag has never been worn. This bag has been worn. But I wear this bag on different occasions than, say, the crossbodies. The crossbody Chanel minis that throw across me are very casual bags for me, and therefore they get a lot more wear. This one I generally hand carry, and I generally wear when I'm maybe not going to be throwing it across the dance floor because it's lambskin. It does have little feet on the bottom, but it does have corners. It's a small, but it is a bigger bag for me, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but most of my handbags are minis, and I have the mini Lady Dior somewhere and sequenced over there. This, even as a small, is a slightly bigger version of a bag for me, and that's why it just doesn't get as much use. Now, I know a lot of people have messaged me about selling this bag. I have no plans to sell this bag yet. I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. I love the hardware. It's my only small Lady Dior. My only other one is the sequenced one over there, so it's my only leather one. The colours in this are fabulous. I do really, really love this bag. It's just that the opportunity and the event or the type of occasion that I would wear this is less than a lot of the more casual bags, and that's why this one hasn't been used as much. Probably why this one also hasn't been used as much. These would probably be quite similar, and again, if I was going somewhere with one of these working, you're going to be competing between the two before we even look at any other bags, and that is the reality of having this amount of pink bags in your collection. I know it's a bit mad, doesn't really make sense, but it's the reality of having that many in your collection, and it just means some of them won't be used that much, and this is one of those. Let me know what you think of my 8 least used handbags. There's others, as I say, that have never been used, and there is a video on that. Check that out if you want to know which bags are really shameful and confession time in my collection, because I've never ever worn them. These are the bags that I have worn, but over this year, 2023, they've definitely been my least used. What do you think of them? Or are there any of them that you're really offended by and you think I should be using a lot more? Which is your favourite out of them? Let me know in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching me. If you have enjoyed this in any way, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing. And if you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen to enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching me. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.